We ready?
We ready.
Let's do this.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well, there goes Ryan already. Hot start.
Yeah. Hot start.
Just knocking the top off.
Nice.
All right, yeah. With that, though, guys, we're back again for another episode of the Opening Bam podcast. How are we doing today, guys?
We're doing all right.
We're doing it.
Doing it.
Doing it.
Doing it.
Doing it.
So what are we going to be talking about today? Got a few things on the docket.
We're going to talk about Ryan's his life today, actually.
My life today.
Yeah, we're going to talk about you.
Putting you on the spot.
Yep.
Woke up, didn't work today, and now I'm here.
Great.
So-
That's it. See you guys.
Moving on.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And that was the episode.
That was it.
No, what are we talking about today, Bruce?
We're going to be talking about Warped Tour, kind of the history of Warped Tour, our personal experiences with the Warped Tour, and maybe a few fun facts that people might not have known about Warped Tour. So,
Yeah. Can we start by saying one thing, though, too?
Mm-hmm.
We actually all met at Warped Tour. I shit you not, we met Ryan at Warped Tour. We me and Bruce knew each other before, but we met Ryan at Warped Tour, and this is where this all came to be. If that did not happen, then who knows? We wouldn't be doing this, probably. So.
probably would not be in the situation. Yeah, I kind of forgot that we met at Warped Tour.
Yep, we did. That was where we met. Should we say it? Well, me and Bruce have only been to one. But Ryan, you've been to how many?
18. Just kidding. I've been to 3.
Okay, what years did you go?
What year did I meet you guys? Was it 17?
Was that 17? Yeah, I was going to actually pull up that line. Just
That was 18.
18. I was at. I was 15.
well, we can Google things because the internet.
I was at 15, 16, 18. Those are the ones I went to.
Miss 17?
Yeah, 17 wasn't very good. It's true.
Well,
Or I
And
think
then
I was busy.
18 was
I
the
don't know.
last year of
Yeah.
Warped Tour.
16 was the best because it had like all the throwback bands come. We'll get into it, but
yeah. 18 being the last one before they did the actual East Coast, West Coast one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into that too. But should we just start by our first memories of what Warped Tour was?
Yeah,
Probably a good way to start.
definitely go off that. I remember kind of us, even initially getting the actual tickets to the Warped Tour, was kind of just all of us hanging out one night. And what was it, like 2, 3 in the morning? We all were talking. We're like, we should all go to Warped Tour and buy tickets. And it was you, me, our buddy Hunter, our buddy Tanner, and our buddy Tucker. We're all talking about it. And we pulled up like how much tickets were, and it was in Minneapolis and Gooseberry Park, right?
No, Shakopee horse race. Not Gooseberry.
Oh, yeah.
What do you call that place?
I think it's good.
I think it's Gooseberry. I'm pretty sure it's Gooseberry Park. Yeah,
Horse track, yeah.
it's right by the horse track.
Okay,
Yeah,
well then, yeah.
It's at Gooseberry.
Believe that.
Yeah.
Sorry. Canterbury Park.
Canterbury Park.
Yeah,
that's
what
what
he
it is.
said.
Canterbury Park.
Yeah, that place. But so yeah, we ended up buying tickets for that. Like 2 in the morning, all of us were like, okay, we're doing this. Let's actually do it. Like the lineup was good, and was excited to go see everybody. And I remember our buddy Tanner and Hunter didn't really know much about kind of Warped Tour in general, and kind of knowing any backstories or really many of the bands even.
After a couple of these, they were easily convinced to go with, basically.
Sure.
We'll say that much.
For a few tall Bud Lights,
Yeah.
you can convince anybody to go to Warped Tour.
Yep.
But so I remember us, getting tickets, whatever, and then actually like going the day of the concert, and when we were walking up to the gates, like actually getting into Warped Tour, and all the fences that are around it and everything, and Hunter and Tanner both being like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
Because all the people just, you go to Warped Tours. I mean, we'll get into them like that more of it later, but just bunch of scene people and kind of just people doing what they want to do. Like there's no one's judging at Warped
A
Tour.
lot of
Everyone's
colored
there.
hair,
A lot of colored hair, a lot of black,
a lot of tattoos,
A lot of vans.
a lot of piercings,
Yep.
and it's kind of their shell shock and culture shock right away. It was just, first of all, that was very funny for me personally.
Yeah, because they're kind of...
sheltered little boys.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, like, I think Tanner had gone to a couple festivals at that point, but Hunter definitely doesn't like...
Listen
I
to
know
music.
Hunter will listen to this, but he doesn't listen to that kind of music very much. I know Tanner doesn't at all, probably. So for them just to kind of see what that vibe is actually like, I mean, and not just hearing us actually like listen to it at our apartment or something like that was probably completely different.
Oh, it's a 180 flip for him.
Because I don't know, I wouldn't say that we're the ones dyeing our hair, but I mean maybe.
Not often.
Yeah, only on
Only on days ending in Y, and Warped Tour.
Yeah,
But no, I remember kind of going to that. What was the first band that we were trying to get to right away? I remember because we jumped, like,
yeah.
we took the Jeep off-roading a little bit to get to the parking spot.
Yeah, because we had stayed at a friend's place who lived about 10 or 15 minutes away, which was perfect. But the problem with Warped Tour, the only like criticism I have, and it's kind of what makes it sweet, is that they don't announce the lineup times until the day of that morning, like bright and early.
Like an hour before.
Like an hour before. So when people are actually like really big bands, they might play right away in the morning and they don't know. It just kind of happens. And,
at noon.
Yeah, so you kind of got to just plan to be there the whole day. It's a one-day thing. So if you're there for the whole day, you could see everybody you want to, but if you are a little late, you might miss it. And Movements played that morning and we missed them.
Mm-hmm.
But
I remember us trying to get there.
But yeah, we were in this huge line and of traffic, and we saw basically a big grass, yard of parking that was like probably like 10 acres of parking basically. And I saw that people were just kind of pulling in, and I didn't see anybody having any tickets on their windshield, so I just jumped the curb and parked, and we just walked right in. But
we're doing some Jeep things.
Yeah, we were in the Jeep at that point, and like people like as we got out were like applauding, and like I think somebody else did it with us. It was fine.
Like as soon as we did it, like 4 cars behind us did the exact same thing.
Yeah, because they were like, okay, well. I was like, I want to go in there right now, because if we don't go right now, we're probably going to miss Movements. We walked in and we missed it because you got to get through tickets, and like we were checking bags, I think. And it just is a process to get into a festival anyway. So
where we parked to where like the actual concert was probably like a half a mile walk.
Yeah, it was actually pretty damn far. Because you had to like walk around like the big fence to go to like the other side to enter, and then go like around the stages to get to that. And I didn't know where to go. When we got in, I was just like, that looks right.
They were on the furthest stage from the entrance too.
Yeah, that was the hard part, because then we had to go to like the whole other side again.
For us even to get to them on time, we would have had to like pull a Ferris Bueller and freaking run through some backyards.
Yeah, exactly. Without hopping fences, but who knows?
If we would have hopped the fence, we would have made it. But
yeah,
wasn't then the first band we saw was Knuckle Puck then?
I think so. Yeah, that sounds right.
Nice.
Yeah. So remember we got there, like
I was by you guys then.
Because we were at the stage where Movements was just at, and I think like they was right next to them. Knuckle Puck was playing.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, it's gonna go watch them now. So we just turned and kind of just pivot.
And that was a blast, because they're really good, and they're really good live. I think that we should preface that by saying the way that Warped Tour is set up is usually there's 4 main stages, 2 that are on one side and 2 that are on the other, and they're kind of split by genre a little bit, or at least they have been in the last few years. Typically it's like more pop punky on one side, and then the other side's a little bit more hardcore,
a lot more metalcore.
More metalcore, and has a lot more like just harder stuff. Anyway, they just alternate on stage by stage, and it's like a 5 to 10 minute change between stages basically, so they can just set up a band, play it, finish that band's already set up, play, set up the other band, play.
Just like to do a flip flop.
Yeah.
Makes it the process easier, so you get through all the bands.
So you run back and forth.
Exactly. And if you're in the middle, you can just kind of turn around almost and just kind of, because you're like right in the middle. Unless you go to the small stages, which are kind of fun just to go walk around and see, because
they have a few of those too. They have like 2 or 3, 4.
A lot of the bands, like I think like Movements, like we were talking about, have played there, I think the year before, because that was like right when their album got released or something, I think. But they had played at like one of the small like T-Mobile wireless stage or
that couldn't even fit the drum set on the stage.
Yeah. They have to
it's like a portable stage with wheels.
It's like a blow up.
The stage is literally as tall as this table. Like that's it. And they're just like kind of back a little bit, and you can literally get right up on there if you want to. Those were kind of fun though. I mean, I remember walking by those and you'd be like, okay, like this is neat.
Because a lot of people are just like, they're just trying to promote themselves, and I mean, they're on the tour for a reason. They should be anyway. But everybody starts somewhere, and I think like a lot of the bands that we listen to had been on Warped Tour at a smaller stage, or like that have been their goal is like, oh, I want to be on Warped Tour. Like my first memory of Warped Tour in general was from the rock show.
The band song? The band?
The Blink song?
The band song?
I think it's from the rock show. I said I'll never forget that summer at the Warped Tour.
Yep.
Because I was like, oh, I wonder what the hell that is. And I never knew until I like looked it up one day.
Until it was too late.
Yeah, and our friend Caitlin, or my friend Caitlin, in like middle school, I remember saying to our teacher was like, I want to go to Warped Tour this summer, and I was like, I've heard that, and like
I know what that is.
I know what that is, and then I started to get into it more.
I can relate.
But that was probably like my first like memory of it, and then like actually following it year by year after that, being like, oh wow, all these bands that I actually listen to go to this and want to go to this. Makes it actually worth it to me, I guess. One other thing too, when they announced the lineups, they put it on this big like
Never forget.
the inflatable board.
Yep.
And they're like this little Velcro like
Yep. They just slap
stamps
them
that
on.
they slap
It has
on.
like the stages, and then on the side it's the time, and then it just has band.
It's like reading just like a poorly put together Microsoft Office.
Yeah, some of
Excel.
them are like scribbled on. It's just like a piece of paper from a notebook, and they just tape it on there.
Yep.
No one can read it.
Yeah, and like I was like trying to read it on Reddit, like on the way there as we were at a stoplight or something,
Yeah.
like in the car, like trying to figure out where we should be at. Luckily, we were like the main was probably our biggest show that we wanted to see, and they weren't for like another hour or so after we got there. So I think we got to
They played at like
Early.
It
They
was
were
like
early.
11 or noonish.
They were
like-
like the second band on that stage, I think.
it was probably like Knuckle Puck, the main.
Yep, I know. I know it was Knuckle Puck, and then it was right next.
They
it was
maybe were the
main
first
came
one on that band, or on that stage then. I think they were the first ones then.
Could be.
on that main stage.
Yeah.
Probably.
Wow.
Because remember when they came out, like we literally just pivoted. and
Because
they were
like
right
gates
there.
open like 10:30 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of it's like a shit show to get over there, I think.
Yeah, because I went with a friend, and we came around the corner, and we're like by all the booths, and it was just like John from the main standing there, and we talked to him a little bit, and he took pictures and whatnot.
That's
And
another.
then he went on stage.
Yeah, that's another big deal too. Is the line? Do you have anything about the line in there at all?
What the line?
The
No.
line. The line is like the walk, where like the artists will like walk around selling like boxes of CDs or T-shirts, or like they'll like promote like, hey, they'll like the main always talks about it in their interviews, like, oh yeah, when we walk the line, we carry a sign that says the main on it. 8:30 or whatever time they play, and they walk around like trying to say like, hey, we actually played this time, come to see the main, because then they finally figure it out, and then they can be like, we're at the booth, come to the booth to take pictures, and that's kind of their deal. But they have like all of the band booths, and usually there's people there all day, if they're not already playing or they don't, they're done for the day, who knows. But they're actually like really interactive too, which is kind of nice because you can go to meet and greets pretty easily. So it seems.
That's the one thing about Warped Tour is it's like, these bands are trying to sell themselves.
Yeah.
And, they want to be personal. I mean, these people are they're just regular guys. And a lot of them, they just kind of, they want to hang out too.
Yeah.
Like it's like it's their time off. They just want to bullshit and have fun. And did you look up like the barbecues afterwards?
I saw that was a big deal, and I know like from hearing about it is. I know you got some history. Do we want to just get into history?
We can definitely dive in. Unless Ryan wants to kind of go over his first experience at Warped Tour.
Can we talk about the mains tour announcement and how funny that was?
Oh yeah, sure.
John. So they jump off. They're in Seattle.
This is a break. This is nothing.
Yeah,
to
we're
do with
talking
it.
about the main, not
Yep.
Warped Tour anymore. The main did an announcement video that they're going on a U.S. tour, and they all bungee jumped off like this building, and they're yelling in the camera. Stratosphere.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
They're all yelling, oh, we're on
Vegas.
tour, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, it's three of them that jumped, right?
Yeah, Kennedy, Pat, and John.
John jumps, and he just passes out. And his eyes are in the back of his head, and he's falling. And it's just,
And the whole time he's supposed to be yelling like, "We're going on tour," and he's like passed out.
he's
the whole
dead.
way. I thought it was fake right away, and then I like watched it.
Then he was
again.
dead.
And he said, "I blacked out. I don't know."
We really didn't know what we were doing with this one.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool. It's actually going to be going on tour though, doing that US. We kind of figured they were going to do that anyway.
They had announced their tour, and it was like pretty limited, and it was the tour that they just did at like little. I wouldn't call them like arenas or venue. Like they were like theater tour kind of a thing, because they just played all around, and it was like them at all time low, and
like Sad Summer, basically.
well, it was like Sad Summer, but
their own thing.
yeah, their own thing where they were on their own dates. But then they did a couple more shows where they were just like at little arenas, and I was like, oh, that can't be it. They got to do more.
Oh yeah. I mean, we kind of figured that was going to happen, especially with like the new release of the album. And I just assumed they were going to do something.
It was a matter of time, yeah. But yeah, that's great.
Oh, you want to talk about your first experience at Warped Tour there, Ryan?
Yeah, we sure can.
What year did you go? The first year you went?
So I got the dates wrong. My first year was 15. I went 15, 16, and then 18 I went.
CD, yeah.
And every time I went by myself because I don't have any friends.
We met us at Warped Tour.
Yeah, now I have friends.
And we would go to Warped Tour with you.
But every time I've gone, I've ran into someone I knew. and I just didn't know they were going, and so I'd kind of have a crowd to hang out with the whole time. But yeah, going alone, I was still in college, and I've only heard about Warped Tour, and like that's all my favorite kind of music. So I just went by myself, and at this 15, it wasn't in the parking lot. It was down in the grass or whatever.
Oh, that'd been nice.
And then I think they had a bad experience with grass and rain and stuff, and it was just a mess, and so they moved up to the parking lot. But yeah, I mean, it was just like, it's just being, if you've ever been to a festival, it's like they're basically all the same kind of atmosphere. Everyone's just hanging out and in a good mood and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it was just fun. Like, it's super easy to just talk to someone and then just be with them the rest of the day.
Yeah.
What was what bands do you remember seeing at that one?
I'll tell you, Nicholas.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was
So-
trying to look at lineups, but it wasn't pulling up very well.
So Motion City Soundtrack was the big one. Man Overboard, The Wonder Years, We Came as Romans. They're a little spooky, scary. Sense Fails, Silverstein. Shout out to middle school. Metro Station, they played Shake It. They played that for a half hour straight, and that was it. It was cool. Mod Sun was there. Moose Blood was there. Neck Deep was there.
Yeah, I still watch those Moose Blood videos from that tour.
Set It Off. And there's a lot of bands I've never heard of, and I still never heard of. So,
That's one thing with.
but yeah, I kind of just hung out. I just hung out between the two main stages. I didn't really wander a whole lot, just to go get water, basically, because it was 1,000 degrees every time you go.
Yeah, that's kind of
God, it was brutal when we went.
Because every time I've gone, I brought like a water bottle, but like a little bit bigger than this one. And especially the last time when we met up there, I had like a big one, and I filled it up 9 times. I didn't piss one time when I was there.
It was freaking. I remember when we got there, we're like, "Oh, let's like go grab some beers." And I remember I had 2 beers, and after that, it was like, "Nope."
Yeah.
I'm like water.
It was literally 100 degrees too.
Yeah, I felt like I was dying.
Oh God, we were on just a blacktop.
Yeah, asphalt and just hot,
Yeah.
steamy.
I remember like I was wearing that bandana at the end of it. It was just soaked,
Stinky.
like just covered in sweat. That's one thing about like those tours though, man. Like they're in the middle of the summer and it's like it's a million fucking degrees out.
I mean, we go to it. I mean, we have gone to it in Minnesota. Think about it in like LA or Dallas or wherever they go down south to.
Where it's way hotter.
Where it's like 110 in the sun. Yeah. Could be a lot worse. But I mean, you could go to Minneapolis. It could be 80 and sunny and nice.
Yep.
But who knows? Not been to the one in Dallas.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Have you only been to the ones kind of around here, or did you kind of travel for any
No,
of them?
that was always at the horse race track. So
Gooseberry Park.
yeah,
Canterbury.
Canterbury Park.
Canterbury
Yeah,
Goose
asshole.
Park.
How about some history? Should we just go over a little bit of history just because, like, I mean.
Yeah, there's a lot like kind of behind it. I mean, it's like it is the longest running like U.S. toured festival of all time.
Yeah.
For 25 years. And I mean, it was originally founded by Kevin Lehman, and then Ryan Woodbury was one of the also the creators. But kind of Kevin was one of kind of everyone knows about, and the main dude.
Yep, the main dude.
Did you know? Fun
Did
fact
you
for you
know?
that the original name that they wanted Warped Tour to be. I know you probably know this.
Yeah,
one,
I
so
know
look
this
it up.
one because I looked it up. Well, it was on here.
What?
They originally wanted to call it the Bomb, but it was right after the Oklahoma City bombing. So they changed it to Warped Tour.
Their first day was like that day, I think,
Yeah.
or something like that. Then,
Okay.
Yeah, they switched it real quick.
Scribble that one off.
Which that's
way to go,
rightfully
Mark.
so.
Nice idea.
all in all, I think right away it started as like, I mean, is there anything about like how bands were jumped on or like joined on, or was it like kind of, because it seemed much smaller, like there wasn't as many acts. Obviously it got bigger and bigger as it went on, but right away it seemed to start with like what, 10 or 12 people or something like that.
Yeah, right away it kind of was just a small little thing that he wanted to put on, just to have all these acts come together and
Kind of compete for a different genre for like, yeah.
Exactly. He wanted to do a festival that could, be around the pop, like the punk scene, the pop punk scene, and things along those lines, because there really wasn't anything out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so they created, Warped Tour and wanted to have all these different bands. And kind of right away when they started, I mean, it wasn't very big. It was just a bunch of bands that realistically not many people at the time knew. But it was just an experience for people to get out and go to these things. And then obviously as it kept going, it became more like the year after 1996 was when Vans became involved. I believe is when 1996 is when they came on board and did a lot of the promoting. So then it got bigger because of that the marketing aspect of it. So there was a name attached to it. And then for that one tour is when it started to blow up and become, more of a
bands wanted
prevalent
to be on it.
prevalent festival. And then people there was so many people that just wanted to be there, just in general. It was one of those. At the time, if you're a pop punk band or a punk band just in general, or just a rock band, that was where you wanted to play. Because that was the main thing. Because you were on tour, you got to go around the whole United States, and you could sell yourself at one Warped Tour could make you go from nothing to something.
I remember playing one of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, and at one of the skate parks, there was Warped Tour advertisements. Yeah, and it was lit. God, what a game! Best soundtrack ever.
I see this fun fact here for Perry Farrell, who is the guy who started Lollapalooza. His performance from Jane's Addiction's Mountain Song, he's on Jane's Addiction, obviously, was the inspiration for Warped Tour, probably to Mr. Kevin. I'm sure that probably had something to do with it. How about do you want to do these fun facts directly from Kevin, the owner?
I was going to hit this one real quick too.
Go ahead.
Just so kind of just bring up the whole musical artist that kind of became big during Warped Tour. Just to name a few off the bat that they mentioned on the band's Warped Tour website. And previous Avenged Sevenfold was one of the bands. Fall Out Boy. You have Paramore, Sum 41. Katy Perry actually did a Warped Tour.
Yep.
Black Eyed Peas did Warped Tour. Ice-T performed in '99. There's all these different artists that, at least in the rock scene there, Avenged Sevenfold and Fall Out Boy, a lot of their early beginnings and kind of their early fanhood came from those Warped Tour tours, and that's kind of where they took off. So, even having this venue in general, these bands went from nothing to you do one of these tours and you get a following just from that, and then you can just blow up. Just something that I don't really think there's much out there like that nowadays.
I think you can thank the age and the time too for how things were portrayed. What was on the radio was what was popular. And at that point in the late 90s, early 2000s, when Warped Tour was becoming big, CD sales was the biggest deal, at Warped Tour, and just be hey. And bands that were able to just dish out their CDs for dirt cheap at Warped Tour and just be hey, buy this, listen to this, download it, cut it, rip it, whatever, and then they were probably throwing it all together.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Cut it, print, put it on a t-shirt. Basically, it was all put together as a much more of hey, this is what's popular. If you come to this tour, you will see what popular is now, and you'll get a taste of what is going to be big. As opposed to now, over the last 10 years, how many times have we talked about it that the bands that are on Warped Tour, you go to you buy the ticket and you go to see whatever you want to see, but then who knows, you might have your own bands that you care about that are smaller. They told you who was good at that point,
Yeah.
And basically sold you okay, these are the bands that are going to be big someday if they're at the bottom, and these are who you should be seeing if they're big.
And that's why they threw the people on the main stages and the side stages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which Katy Perry played one of the side stages.
Yeah.
So. Okay. Did you read one of the fun facts about Katy Perry? How they said she was the one.
We'll get.
Yep.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get to that one. But yeah, there's some funny things actually from Kevin himself that we can get into. I think we should just get into it now.
Sure.
About kind of some of his favorite moments or kind of some things that happened during the 25 years of Warped Tour when it was running. So if you want to take the reins on this one.
Sure, I've got them all written down here. Fun facts from the owner himself. It was an AP article that they did, interview with him. It may just be a myth. However, the rumor has it that the Black Eyed Peas actually met Fergie in the Warped Tour parking lot when they started to play in 1999. So, finding Fergie and having her be your front woman at that point is probably a big deal, right? The first canned water was created as a marketing tool by Monster for use at Warped Tour. Now is used in most festivals, which I don't know.
I thought that was actually really interesting.
Canned water, I've never seen it at a festival before, other than Warped Tour. But
I feel if you go to a Coachella or things like that, they probably have it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably like some wild ass ones like that.
Not anymore though, because it's all like it's aluminum and plastic waste, Brad. You can't do that. You gotta
can recycle it.
Gotta recycle everything and gotta just drink free water.
You said the thing about the bomb, the Oklahoma City bombing. So we'll get to that. So there was a blizzard that happened apparently, and the title sponsor was supposed to be Calvin Klein at that point, as opposed to Vans, which probably wouldn't be the best for the whole thing to go. Who knows what it would have been like? Maybe it would have gotten to a pop festival. I don't know. That's what I'd picture if Calvin Klein was the head sponsor
for underwear.
Yeah.
Calvin Klein's Warped Tour. Could you just imagine that?
Yeah, who knows?
Underwear and cologne given out.
They have models on the stage.
I mean, I have no idea. But the fact that Vans actually like went hand in hand with the genre of music that it developed into, it's perfect.
It was a smart partnership in general.
It was a smart partnership, and they were synergistic to each other's growth. Arturo Vega, the creator of the Ramones logo, did a lot of theme artwork in 2012. Bud from Sublime, the drummer.
This is actually a funny one. Yeah.
He holds the record for the most arrests on Warped Tour in one day, which was twice. He got arrested. I don't know how. We could probably find that out. Ice-T called back in 1999. He said he did not ask to be on Warped Tour. He said he was on Warped Tour at that point. So that's the other thing too, is Kevin, the owner, I think, is the one who will call out to the artist and say, we're extending you an invitation to be on Warped Tour. Either accept or not, then you're on it. Mm-hmm. And you're guaranteed for however many shows you can make it, basically. Less Than Jake has played the most Warped Tour dates of any band.
I was going to do trivia, and that was a question.
That was a question?
That was a question.
365 Warped Tour sets.
Scott never dies.
Scott never dies.
365 sets, though. That's freaking insane.
They've been on every single Warped Tour.
Less Than Jake?
I'm pretty sure.
Less Than Jake and Real Big Fish.
Maybe not like the couple beginning ones, but they've been around forever, too.
Yeah, so. I'm actually really curious how many Real Big Fish has done, too.
Well, this article is from 2017, so, I mean, it was a year after that they stopped, so who knows, really. Avenged Sevenfold was the first band to use a prop on the stage, which was a smoking machine in 2005. Ooh. Typically, there's not a lot of props.
Crazy.
That's like kind of part of it. It's all really stripped down. It's all like every band gets the same treatment usually.
You're in and out.
The deal.
You get your banner.
You get your 6 songs.
I think it's the story so far. Did you see that? Like they didn't have a big banner, so they just like hung it like a little T-shirt.
Yeah.
There's like a meme about that, I think. But it was like, oh, sorry, we spent all of our money. We didn't get a banner.
Spent all our money on the tour bus. Sorry.
Yeah. In 1998, they merged with Ozfest, which I'm sure is Ozzy Osbourne's.
Oh yeah, it is.
Okay. And they made it a Skatin' Meets Satan show, which
hell yeah.
They made shirts and everything, and I guess I didn't know that until now. I'm not going to read that. That's about Kevin. I don't really care.
No one cares about Kevin.
On Warped Tour Australia in 1998, the whole tour stayed in campgrounds with most of the bands and crews in tents. However, 311 insisted on a motorhome, but no one knew how to drive on the other side of the road in Australia, resulting in causing numerous wrecks along the way. So, I mean, yeah, if you're in Australia, I guess what do you do? How do you transport your tour bus and everything? I didn't even know that they did in Australia, Warped Tour.
Yeah, there was one in Sydney. They did one in Sydney. But fun fact about tour buses while we're on it, I was watching the Vans, like the 25-year like videos that they produced, whatever. And there was one with ICP.
Oh no!
And their tour bus broke down in 2 hours out from the actual the Warped Tour, and they just rented a car and they just drove to Warped Tour.
That's kind of funny.
And when they got there, Kevin was like, "I heard you guys' bus broke down. How'd you get here?" They're like, "We fucking drove."
Yeah.
Like they just drove it. And he's like, "Get on stage."
Yeah, go. I don't know if there was some beef between Under Oath and NoFX, but apparently there was, and it was all not real. I don't know. Anyway, in 2008, Katy Perry was voted laziest artist on tour since she was never at the post-show barbecues, which Pruitt had talked about earlier a little bit. However, no one knew that Kevin, the owner, was working closely with her management, Katy Perry's management, to make sure that she could do radio and TV appearances at 5 a.m. and then get back to the venue for the show. She was actually the hardest working person on that summer tour, but just not the hardest partier, allegedly. And then this says, except in New York, which I'm sure maybe she got a little loose in New York. Who knows?
Well, and then with kind of talk about the barbecues there. So when I was watching those videos, they kind of talked about what they were. So it was like after the show, it was from like 8 to 11. Apparently they would have just these massive barbecues with all the bands and everybody and like all the crew and stuff. And I forget which dude was talking about it like on the actual screen because I kind of was in the background. Basically, it said it's like it was just a way not to like you're all on the same playing field at that event.
Yeah.
So like you weren't just like, oh my god, you're so and so stuff like whatever. Like everyone was just like friends and stuff, and it gave them an opportunity just to actually hang out. So maybe that's where Fergie met the Black Eyed Peas.
Could be. I think that there's a lot of to break off these fun facts. There's a lot of common ground that they try to put. Like everybody's on the same page. Everybody, no matter what, like you don't headline. There's no like seniority. There's no like I'm better than you because I'm playing later. Because it's all switching every day, and the fact that they're all doing this barbecues and kind of like they want it to be a joint show makes it like kind of a little bit better, and probably why it was successful to a lot of artists for so long. Because then a lot of the artists too got to be like joint friends. I think a lot of the bands that toured a day together in the genres that we listen to, like I think the Maine met a lot of the people from Sad Summer on Warped Tour or things like that. So this fun fact's really interesting, and I didn't know this. Hurley, the clothing brand, got jump started on Warped Tour thanks to Blink-182 for wearing their shirts nearly every day on tours on stage. So Hurley's obviously like a very famous California surf skate brand. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know that at that point that Blink was kind of like on the forefront of that. I thought it was pre them. I thought they were popular, and I thought that's why they wore it. But I guess maybe not.
Maybe realistically, what could have happened too is they just got free shirts and just wore them.
Maybe Hurley was like, "Hey, we'll pay you to wear these, or just wear these shirts." Or,
yeah.
They knew a guy.
And there's a lot of
surfboard shorts.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like what I kind of realized too is it was kind of like just an opportunity for you to just basically sell all your products and shit too. I mean, like little vendors and stuff.
It was a very commercial festival, which is kind of
not normal, really.
Not normal, and it was also kind of, I would say,
side hustle,
contradicting to a lot of what the bands there were kind of promoting. I mean, a lot of the hard punk bands are probably like
Rage.
Yeah. I mean, hell. I mean, you never know like who's anti-capitalism, I guess, on these tours. Another fun fact: Green Day once said they would never do two things: watch the Titanic and play Warped Tour. Not sure about the first one, but they did make it to Warped Tour in 2000, so that did happen. Don't know why they said no or why they didn't want to. Probably just because they were Green Day.
Trying to be cool.
After the first year of Warped Tour, Airwalk tried to get them to dump the van sponsor for a ton of cash. The owner said, no way, because the owner, I guess the Vans must be that guy, said he was the real deal and still is. Those are the ones from the owner specifically. There's some other ones that we can get into. But should we break for, is there any other like tidbits of information or favorite bands that you would have liked to see or like?
I'm going to talk about the Warped Tour of 2005.
Do it.
Okay.
And just how insane the lineup was. Because there's a couple bands who weren't technically on the tour, but they played a couple shows just for fun. But these are the bands that went on tour for the whole thing. So like the Transplants was like a huge punk, whatever.
Travis Barker and the Transplants.
Yeah. Fall Out Boy was on it. My Chemical Romance, The Offspring, Reliant K, Dropkick Murphys, very nice. Sense Fail, Hawthorne Heights, Avenged Sevenfold, The Starting Line, Atreyu, Motion City Soundtrack, and there's like a bunch of whatever that no one cares about. But I know Linkin Park did some shows on that tour, and so did Blink.
Jesus.
Wow.
So 2005 was the year.
It was.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of that era for like who was. I mean, Blink was obviously probably at the front of that.
I know that was because they broke up that year too. So maybe that's caused Warped Tour.
Maybe.
Warped Tour's fault.
Maybe.
Blink broke up.
Also, a funny fact I just remembered. I remember watching, there was an interview with Kevin talking about like the mosh pits and like all the like the circle pits and the walls of death.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, not gonna lie to you. He's like, favorite ones, circle pits. Everyone's going the same direction. He's like, it's easier not to get hurt. Obviously, you're all going the same direction. He goes, and then there's the wall of death. he's like, that is the scariest shit you ever see. Like, and being someone who's like obviously witnessed those a few times, yeah, that shit's just fucking stupid. You're literally guaranteed to eat shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Gets the people going.
Circles are better. Remember that.
So bad.
During 1998 Warped Tour in New Zealand, everybody slept in tents or at Boy Scout camps. This one got cut off, don't know why, but when Sublime joined the tour, the first tour, there was a rule, no dogs or friends, and apparently they broke both of them and were asked to temporarily, I take that as not play.
Yeah, probably temporary leave.
Yeah, temporary leave.
Temporarily blank.
Yeah, it's Sublime to do that, sure. Typical night at Warped Tour barbecue included 300 hot dogs, 300 hamburgers, and 100 veggie burgers. So it is like actually pretty big. Another good one is MySpace couldn't afford the $100 fee for a table at the first year at Warped Tour. At their first year.
Way to go, Tom.
Tom from MySpace couldn't afford it.
Everybody's friend, though.
There's only 2 original crew members on the Warped Tour that remain, Shelly and Mitch. Shelly is a catering person, and Mitch is a stage member who worked with Sublime originally. So that's kind of cool. There's a Feed Our Children Now campaign, which collected 330,000 pounds of food in 2013.
Jesus.
I take it that was like a bring your cans for tickets or something like that.
Probably like discount or something.
Yeah, who knows? No fireworks rule at Warped Tour ever since Green Day's security guy blew off his fingers.
It's actually a fun fact.
Classic.
Sugar Ray were selling 70,000 records a week when they played Warped Tour in 1997 on the Volcom stage, which was just 2 feet high and stacked on top of picnic tables. So that's like the size reference that we were talking about of the low, crappy Volcom side stage. 70,000 records a week, which is...
That's absurd.
That's selling records. It's like not like...
It's not like, oh, I sold a few CDs. You're making some profits.
Yeah.
Sugar Ray's basically the Beatles. So, yeah, I said it.
Okay. Last year, so this was 2016, and this fact comes from, more than $150,000 was raised for Music Cares, which helps musicians and crews with no health insurance. Cool, I guess. Cool. That is cool. It rained almost every single year during Warped Tour's Florida stop, which I'm guessing is... don't know where that is.
They only actually stopped Warped Tour 2 times. Like they would
like
because of weather.
Like a day.
because of weather.
Because of weather, they only stopped it twice.
There was a tornado one time.
Yeah, it was one they stopped it. There was a tornado, and there's another one I forget the hell.
Let
it
them
was.
play.
It's kind of cool to see all the philanthropy that they do. I didn't know that. I like the health insurance thing. It's kind of cool. Well, Warped Tour had hit every single state it's made to play. Excuse me. Well, Warped Tour has hit every single state it's made it to. Hawaii only twice in the past 20 years.
Yeah, they played Alaska. I forgot about that.
Every single state. When did they play North Dakota?
To probably
It had to have been super early.
probably early and probably like the Minot State Fair.
Yeah. It will play in Alaska for the first time in 2014. So that's kind of cool. Didn't know that. Perry Farrell's performance that we talked about was inspiration, which is cool. Warped Tour's blood drive has been named the Red Cross's Independent Blood Drive of the Year for 6 years in a row.
Holy shit.
65,000 pints a year of blood were donated to Warped Tour, which...
wow.
Which is like, it's cool, but like...
It's a lot of blood. It's just all the vampires that go there. They just set up vampires in the booth.
Maybe.
That's all I'm going to stop there. That was good. Moving on.
Many marriages and relationships formed backstage at Warped Tour, including H2O's guitarist Rusty Pistiano. I don't know who that is.
Pistiano.
Met his wife in 1997.
That's crazy people gave that much blood because it's like, it's hot out, you're running around, and you gave blood.
Yeah, that's actually
They all
really
passed
bad.
out.
And they're all, they didn't make it the rest of the show.
They take your blood and they just pack you with an IV and just fill you with
Just push it around.
some fluids. You're going to need to.
Yeah.
Lisa Johnson is the only photographer to shoot all of the Warped Tours.
Oh,
It's kind of cool.
how many are there of these? 1,000?
20. So there's a couple left, sorry. 8 children of people who have worked on the tour will be working on the tour. So that's kind of funny. It's like a generational thing.
That's cool.
Yeah. The catering company serves more than 1,300 meals a day on tour. 90% of the artists and crew eat better on tour than they do at home. I actually believe that.
I can believe that, yeah.
Oh,
A lot
yeah.
of the bands that, probably would have on tour eat at God knows where. Mike Chem's Gerard Way, frontman, he used to set up his easel and do artwork between the tour buses. That's kind of cool.
Well, that kind of reminds me like the Maine when they set up like their workout equipment outside.
Yeah, a lot of bands like when they have their free time, like they do these tours like every day for the whole summer, and
3
they
months.
have like not a lot of off time, a lot of road time.
Just a shit ton of road time.
That's like one of the main things I've heard too. A lot of bands just like to like if they can get a workout in and go on a run or something, they'll do it because like if they play at 10 and then they have the whole day like just sitting there, they have to wait until
They have to wait till it's done so all the equipment can get put away, and then they can get on the road and go to the next show.
Yeah.
God, it's so much fucking road time.
The Buzzcocks wouldn't play until they got a bottle of champagne. They were the only band to demand something from Warped Tour, and they got it because you got to respect the punk rock elders.
The Buzzcocks.
Didn't know that.
Look them up.
This one has been, I guess, kind of. This one's sad. It says, "I never know if there will be another Warped Tour next year until the current one is finished." And he's been saying that for 20 years, and now we can confidently say that that is not the case.
Saddest shit
It's
ever.
done.
Yeah, and those are the fun facts. Thanks for bearing with me.
There's a lot of interesting facts and things that
The
came
one
out
thing
of Warped
looking
Tour.
forward to every year is the Warped Tour. They took it from us.
Yeah, I know. Like, I wish I would have gone to it many more years in the past, and obviously, like, woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? But is there anybody right now who would fill the Warped Tour space that's like not either that has been like a veteran or is realistic to fill that like wanting to go there for you guys?
MGK
Oh my God.
and Cut.
Jesus Christ, no. I would not want to fucking see MGK at Warped Tour. Also, he would never play a Warped Tour.
Yeah, he would. I feel like he would.
you think he would?
He'd do like the ones in like LA or something, like the big ones.
That is also kind
Because
of
it looks so good on him.
for him to be like, oh yeah, I played on Warped Tour, and he could say that. he did it.
I'm so pop punk. Yeah. People forget about the time when I got torn apart by Eminem.
Okay. So now, actually, who would you guys like to see fill the space, or who would be if there was Warped Tour 2022? Who do you think would be on it? Who do you want to be on it?
Grayscale, the main, State Champs,
The sad summer
Movements.
lineup. Citizens.
The Plot and You,
Turnover.
Beartooth.
Basically, all the shit that we listen to right now.
Story so far. Did you say that?
Stories Far would be good. Another
They
one.
play them there.
They'd be the headline.
We the Kings would be back. Oh, they'll be
Every
back.
Mayday parade, everyone.
Yeah, what veterans do you think would come back for it?
Simple
Those-
Plan.
Simple Plan.
Yeah, because they
always
already
there.
have been.
Mayday
Good
Parade.
Charlotte probably would.
Good Charlotte.
Newfound Glory.
Think Mycan would ever do it?
No.
Not anymore.
Nope.
They can't even schedule their own damn tour right now.
Yeah.
Just fair. They can't schedule their own tour. They
Yellow
just do a Warped
Card.
Tour.
If they did another United States tour, Warped Tour, I feel Yellow Card would hop on that, come back.
I think they would.
I don't think they would.
Blink would probably do it again.
I don't think they would.
No,
either.
they wouldn't.
No.
No shot.
I don't think Yellow Card would come back. I think Ryan. Oh Jesus! I think Ryan Key would do it because he does his solo stuff and he just
Yeah.
sings Yellow Card. I feel like he'd do it. I don't think Blink would do it.
Who's the
Taking Back Sunday.
Matt guy from Emo's Not Dead? He just
Matt
do his
Cutshell?
own. Yeah, he just do his own.
Did he go on tour? Just not even like performing, just go with.
Just hang out.
Paramore?
Be the
Did
MC.
they go?
I don't think Paramore would
I don't
do
think
it.
Paramore would do it either.
Paramore's they would.
I feel like the bands. that
Mom Jeans.
do
Woo!
it. I feel like the bands that are like Paramore or Blink.
Real friends, just friends. All the friends.
I feel like Blink right now is too big, and they're also like at the point where they want to spend time with their family and not like tour.
I bet Weezer would go.
Maybe.
They've been on it before.
Yeah, I believe
I don't
it.
know if they'd. come
303 would.
back. Oh my God, we didn't even see 303, and everyone got so mad at us for not seeing 303. When you're there from freaking like 11 o'clock until like 7,
Yeah, what-
you're in that blistering heat the whole fucking time, and all you're going to see 303 for is one song. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, we left before 303, which I'm fine with.
30 Seconds to Mars.
No, they no shot. No.
Be great.
they have
I
a
thought you
better
didn't
shot.
like them.
What?
I thought you didn't like 36 on Mars.
Only like a few songs of theirs, but I just assume they'd probably be there.
No, they wouldn't. No shot.
Fair.
Fuck you.
Should we do the top 5 most Warped Tour songs ever? You guys ready to guess?
Oh, is this
Oh.
one you?
Yeah.
Top 5.
Oh, is it you? Okay, so where's this from? Is this from?
It's just like
Okay.
Google top best songs of off Warped Tour, and here we are.
Is it like the most sold song, like records, or
Just the most Warped Tour theme song ever.
Okay.
So you think Warped Tour? You think what song?
The Rock Show? Blink-182's got to be on there. Okay.
Nope.
Is Simple Plans?
Nope.
Okay. Is
Sublime one.
Nope.
Offspring on there?
Nope. Think like the emo stage, like the very like middle school esque 2000, almost 2010 area, 2006, 7, 8, basically.
Dance on there?
You're close to that one.
Sugar We're Going Down.
Yep, Sugar
Okay.
Going Down is number 4.
Misery Business.
That's number 6.
Okay.
Ooh, only top 5, Brad.
Close. Is Ocean Avenue on there?
That's number 7.
God damn.
God, we're going backwards.
Wrong-o.
Is any Panic on there?
Nope.
They didn't play. I don't think they played.
1 is like a one-hit wonder,
Is
basically, and that's number 1.
Was it Flagpole Sit-Up?
Just think emo girl side bangs. Think just Courtney, basically. Shout out Courtney.
Avril Lavigne?
No. No.
No.
Shit.
All day. You guys are-
Well, you have the damn list.
Any
in
of them
front of
Good
you.
Charlotte?
Nope.
How about Bowling for Soup?
Nope.
No, God, no.
I wish.
Fuck.
Okay, give us some clues here. What's number 5?
Number 5.
Give us just the band.
Yeah, just give us a band.
That's gonna give it away.
That's not
It
true.
was a band that was on Sad Summer Tour.
All Time
All Time
Low.
Low?
Yep.
Dear Maria Cameron.
Hey!
See, give some good hints so we
So is
can
that
get the
number one?
That
fucking.
just gave it away. That's number 5.
Okay.
And then Sugar We're Going Down Swinging is 4.
Yep.
Number 3. It's kind of an older band.
How old?
Taking Back Sunday.
Taking My Sunday to be.
Cute with cut without the.
That's in top 10, but it's not.
Okay.
Hello.
Make damn sure.
Yep. Make damn sure. Number 3. Number 2. They are kind of a holiday. The band. Named after a holiday. Probably not named after a holiday, but it is a holiday people celebrate.
holiday
on May
people
1st.
Oh, Mayday Parade.
Hey!
Is it Jamie all over?
Yep.
Seriously?
Yep.
They,
Number what? Then?
Number
that
1.
was 2. Can I just make a comment about that real quick? When we saw Mayday Parade like actually live, they're not really good. Not that good.
It was just okay. I saw it and I was like, okay, I've seen them now and I don't need to see them again. I don't mind Mayday Parade, but
I like they sound so much better coming out of like the studio, like the actual old recordings and shit. But then like you hear them live and it's like, I was like, this is not that good. I'll be honest with you. So number 1. Okay.
This is.
Give us like
I maybe know 2 other songs by this band.
so you said it's a one-hit wonder band, pretty much.
And they're.
Is it? No, it's not 303, is it?
You mentioned them earlier.
We the Kings.
Yep.
Skyway Avenue.
No.
It's way away. No,
No.
that's Ocean. That's
Check Yes Juliet.
wow. That's the number 1 most Warped Tour song.
That is the number 1. That's kind of disappointing.
Why is that? Or like where does that list come from? Is it like the most streamed
I
song?
Googled it and there's a list of 45 songs and I just took the top 5. So.
Also, that kind of surprises me though. I wasn't expecting We the Kings to be even the top 10.
I think is it just because they're there every fucking time? Or
Yeah.
That's fair.
yeah.
But I mean, they
Same
were
with
actually,
Mayday Parade though.
they were good live though. I will.
We the Kings was good live.
They were
I like
really
them
good
way
live.
more than Mayday Parade.
I made that comment actually the other day. I think it was on Sunday. I was talking to one of my bar managers, and like, cause one of the bartenders played Jamie All Over, like the acoustic version. I was like, saw a song live, not that good. And then right after We the Kings played, and I was like, saw them live too. They actually are really good.
They're actually okay.
Not too
That's
shabby.
kind of funny.
I thought it was gonna be like complete opposite. We the Kings is gonna be like old and washed up, and then Mayday Parade was like, oh, just kidding, we are that. But
Well,
Buzz.
does anybody have any other Warped Tour points of topic to talk about before we get into the other stuff?
we kind of covered the basics of it. I mean,
Yeah, I know. Obviously, we don't do it justice because there's probably
you can't go full in because I mean, realistically, if we were to do a legit Warped Tour breakdown, we'd have to do like a every 5 years like sets and like go over those.
yeah.
I mean, we'd be here for a while.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama on it too. Like towards the end of it, like kind of ending for the era that bands are in with the target market of being 14 to 17 year olds, like you said, to bands that are like not wanting to go on it, or bands that are like, oh, we're too big to go on it now. Because obviously back in the day when the bands were super huge on there to sell tickets, you know, those bands just don't do that really anymore. I don't know. And I know that this was not our debate, but I heard the owner was kind of a little bit of a dick too, because he had like said to a bunch of bands like, your band's failing because you're not on my Warped Tour and like stuff like that. But
there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that went on with Warped Tour. Obviously, I mean, it's such a huge production, and for it to be 25 years running. But I mean, realistically nowadays, I think if there was a statistic that they talked about on the Vice documentary, it was like in 2017, like the amount of money that like Warped Tour actually made was at like the lowest it had ever been. Meanwhile, I think it was Lollapalooza, maybe it was Coachella, one of those like bigger festivals, like did like 9 figures.
Yeah.
Like
I know like Perry Farrell obviously toured Lolla as Jane's Addiction and like ran the festival. I think partly around the festival and did it like across the U.S. when it was like across the U.S. But since they like centralized it and made it just one big day, they make so much more money, I think, because they don't have to travel and make so much more expense off of it. But I don't know. Who's to say, right? But
there's just a lot that goes into Warped Tour realistically, and I think, and nowadays, I mean, we've had the debate in this podcast before about with Tucker about like if we think pop, like this genre is dying, like this pop punk and like the punk rock scene and things like that. And I mean, losing Warped Tour is kind of a prime example of like showing that there is a decline at least. So.
I'll come back.
I think that there'll be a format of Warped Tour, whether it's Sad Summer or whether it's something else, that will like take the mold, take the place. I don't think it's declining. I just think everything's just getting more diluted, I guess. And
things are changing.
The genre, if you wanted to go to a pop punk show or a punk show in the back in the day, like Warped Tour was the thing. But now it's like you can go see that at any festival. If you want to go to Lollapalooza, there's punk bands and pop punk bands. If you want to go to any other big ass festival, Coachella, there's still gonna be punk bands. Like it doesn't even matter. Now it's like
everything's kind of thrown into
just kind of thrown into one big thing, and wherever you're located at just does better. If you're gonna be a traveling tour, you got to really like pick your spots, and then it's so strategic. And the fact that like Sad Summer right now is picking like big cities but small market cities, not like they do in LA and a big city kind of thing, but they also do like Milwaukee or all those smaller like mid-market Midwest / holes that I'm sure Warped Tour probably would have filled.
Exactly. And then I just think that was just one of the declines, but I definitely agree with you with that there's like there's more crossover now than I think there was before. Yeah. Between all these festivals and like the bands that they're booking. Yeah. So it's also an issue that probably happened.
And I think bands don't have to be on Warped Tour to be successful in that genre anymore either.
Which is true, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. Back in the day, when that was the way to promote your band and like get on a tour and travel with other bands and know each other. I mean, yeah. But now the fact that there is so much more ways for you to get discovered and blow up. Who knows?
With that, do we have anything else to
I'm going to talk about, so I've been to 3 Warped Tours, and let me tell you how ridiculous this lineup is for the 2016 one. So this is my second one I went to. You ready for this?
Yep.
You have your pants on? Starting off 303, just because they're like the host of it. They're like the whatever, leading the way. Following in Reverse.
Oh, shit. Okay.
4 Years Strong. We saw them live together.
They're really good.
Good Charlotte.
Ooh, okay.
Less Than Jake.
Always.
Mayday Parade. Newfound Glory. Ooh. Real Friends. Real Big Fish. Set It Off. Sleeping with Sirens.
Ooh.
State Champs. Sum 41. The Main. The Story So Far. Somerset. We the Kings. Yellow Card. Bullet for My Valentine. Let's skip a couple that don't matter. Broadside's good. Water Parks, meh.
I like Broadside.
I like Broadside too. Knuckle Puck.
Bayside, so. I
like Broadside.
And yeah, that's basically the bigger ones.
That's like an insane.
Wage Wars was there too.
That's an insane lineup right there.
Yeah, that was like the nostalgic one.
I think actually I've watched the videos of Falling Reverse playing at that Warped Tour.
Yeah, I have too.
And it's insane.
Yeah, they have a couple like on YouTube of just like super high def sounding good sets.
Yeah, I watched
like 25 minutes or something.
I watched those Moose Blood ones, that one that they were on 2015 quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it holds up.
But yeah, that was so fun. That one.
Yeah. Fuck, that's sweet.
Got front row for Sum 41. It's pretty lit. It wasn't comfortable, but I was there. And it was hot.
It's never comfortable in the front.
Never is, but
it's worth it.
You wouldn't need to lose. So, I got a music news thing.
Ooh, what do you got?
I don't know how, but they found me tickets today.
Where is that going to be?
That's in the cities at the
Really?
Varsity Theater.
When?
January 31st. So
Ooh, Tiger Jaw, is in January too?
Circus Survive is in
February, January. That was January.
I think it's January. It was mid-January. I still want to go to that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do both. And the main's coming to the cities on April.
Also
10th.
at the Varsity Theater.
I want to go to that too. So, but those tickets don't come.
They didn't announce anyone that's coming with them.
No,
did they?
the main didn't do any.
They
They
just left
didn't
it
announce,
open?
but neither did I don't know how. But I'm sure that they
Yeah,
will add people.
that'd be interesting to see who they bring.
I actually have a piece of music news as well. This is an interesting one that I saw on Twitter today when I was scrolling through, like in the news feed. So there was a Grateful Dead T-shirt estimated to sell at auction for around only $367. Wound up going for a record-breaking amount. Do you want to guess how much it was?
$17,620.
$17,640.
Idiot, this guy.
I saw it today.
Peeking.
I sent that because it's the original 1967
Yeah. 1967 shirt. Yeah.
which is sweet. I sent that to Talon because we went to.
Bro, there's
Yeah.
people buying like vintage tour tees for stupid money.
$17,000.
Maybe
for
not that expensive,
vintage
but like
T-shirt.
you go on like those thrift shops that have vintage tour tees from like Metallica's 92 tour or whatever, and there it's like $300.
We went to this vintage market downtown at Wild Terra a couple weeks ago, and there's like a lot of it is just like thrifted stuff, and it's like pretty easy, $5-10 a shirt or something like that. But there's a couple like really like you can tell that they're like kind of bougier, like they travel and they do this quite a bit. They had like a big Nirvana like T-shirt, and it was like super unique looking. It was like tie dye, had like a really cool logo that I've never seen before. And like Talon, our buddy, went up and asked like, "Hey, how much for that Nirvana T-shirt?" And he's like, "Well, there's no price on it. It's priceless, but make an offer and we'll see." And Talon's like, no.
Yep. Nope. I'm out.
I'm
But
gonna go cut off my arm and give it to you.
I'll sell you my kidney.
I saw the Backseat Lovers last
Yeah, I
week.
was gonna ask you how was
Yeah,
that?
That was actually a blast because they were at the 7th Street
yeah.
entry side venue at First Ave, and it was perfect size. They'd never been to the cities before. So they
that's
like
nice.
they like came there and like it was like people were cheering for them and like sang every word, and they're like, "This is fucking sweet. Like we've never been to Minneapolis before." Like they were like kind of fun and like they were like definitely like vibing with it, and
That's
it was,
cool.
It was cool. Yeah.
That's good.
I'll be back.
They were, yeah, it was actually really good to see them because they just played at ACL like the week before, and I'm sure they played at like a big stage in the morning to 50 people,
Yeah.
but now then filled it with like 200 at maybe less, probably like 100, 150 at maybe that's generous. I don't know,
Very cool.
but very, very good show. Would recommend if anybody gets a chance to see them. So
With that, do we have any more music news?
Where are we going next weekend? 2 weekends? 2 weekends.
Tiesto in the
Not this
cities.
weekend, but the next weekend.
Yeah.
Let's get down.
Wow.
Let's get down to business.
I'm going to knife party as well.
You're
Knife party and
you're
Nightmare?
dueling them.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, I thought you meant like Saturday. I was like,
No.
oh, shit.
Friday and then Saturday.
Yeah, Friday I have a wedding and Saturday I have Tiesto, so I'm gonna be whew.
I'm just going to
And then Sunday, Loons game.
Sunday.
I gotta decide if I'm doing that.
Tired.
And then Thanksgiving, Grayscale, Neck Deep.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it.
Don't care, Bruce. I'll be there.
Well, send me a bunch of videos and
Maybe.
I'll cry.
And you get to go see Heart Attack Man, right?
Yeah, they're opening for Neck Deep.
Great.
What's wrong with them?
Nothing. There's nothing wrong with Eric from Heart Attack
They're
Man.
probably listening. Now they're mad.
No, Eric would be the one to get mad at us for that. He seems to be very active on Twitter and likes to start Twitter beef with
Well,
people.
that's just because it's fun.
Yeah, it is
Because
fun.
you're hiding
With that, should we move on to our songs of the week?
behind. We gotta do Warped Tour songs.
I'm not
Warped
doing
Tour?
Warped Tour.
Why?
I've had one ready
Come
that
on.
I have also one. Well,
Look
mine's
at the
a
list.
tour band.
you can do.
I give you the
Feel
list.
free, do a Warped Tour song. Man.
I'll do a Warped Tour song.
All right, then Ryan, you go first. Then.
Nope, you go first.
All right, I'll take it.
Okay.
Well, one of my personal favorite bands that plays sometimes funny and aggressive music came out with a new song actually just this past few weeks. Limp Bizkit
Oh.
Yeah.
released a new song,
Isn't the dad one?
Dad Vibes.
Yeah, it's actually not bad.
So my song of the week is going to be
Not
Limp Bizkit's
bad.
Dad Vibes. Tucker, that one goes out to you.
What's your
Mine is gonna be way less lit than that. It's by Souvenirs, and it's called Ocean Blood. I was just really vibing with the other day.
Ocean Blood.
It's chill. It's rocky. Like it.
Very nice.
Good. Go ahead, Ryan. Let's see this.
Shout out to Warped Tour. Gonna do, except they've never played this on Warped Tour, but that's a good. It would be a very good Warped Tour song if they played a Warped Tour. They might have. I don't know. But Proper Dose, the story so far.
Ooh.
They have not played that Warped Tour because that album came out after Warped Tour.
I know, but I don't know if they went to like the when they split.
Oh, the
No,
LA.
it was just like LA, New York one, whatever.
Maybe.
I don't know, whatever. They will someday.
Whenever they were releasing music.
Do we have anything else to bring up then, gentlemen?
No, sounds great.
Cool. Don't think
With
so.
that, this has been another episode of the Opening Band Podcast. And with the new video and everything going on, you can follow us on YouTube. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter to stay updated kind of with what we've been up to and what we're doing. And to let you guys know when these posts are coming out. Well, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. And we will see you
Thumbnail.
in the next episode. Peace.